All right, here's a quick update on two of my coupes that finishing up builds on. Just be a general overview. I'll do a full video on each at some point, and then also videos on how I did some of the things on them. They're both very unique, have some modifications on them that I don't think anyone else has ever done. At least I couldn't find on Google when I was looking up how to do stuff to see if anyone else had done it. But so basically you got the silver one here. It's set up for straight line. It's mini tubbed, got some R888Rs on there, three 35s on there right now. It has about 1.5 inches on the inside, so I could go wider. Also have some 345 drag radials I bought. I was going to take it to the track, but they closed the track down here, so it hasn't been. But this was a full rotisserie, done front to back, top to bottom, inside, outside. Pretty cool car. So what are some interesting things about it? Well, I couldn't find anyone who did a full 3-inch exhaust on a mini tubbed Foxbody. Either they went to dumps in front of the axle, or in one weird case they did under the axle, which is weird because the axle moves. Let's see, it has a paddle shifted 6R80. Another interesting thing is it's boost by gear. So every gear, every RPM, it has boost. You go, well, that's not, people do that all the time. Well, yeah, on turbo cars. This one's supercharged. So full custom leather door panels, leather Recaros, lizard skin, the entire interior, custom roll bar. The front portion is completely removable, so I don't drive around with the front portion of the cage in. Yes, I know that's not certified. These aren't race cars. I make these to be all around performers, electronically updated interiors. So that's a perforated leather on there. It's got a suede headliner. This one runs on E85. Has a digital dash. It has buttons there to shift in manual mode. So like paddle shifters, but button shifters. Full focal, our focal separates, and 2 JL10W6s. Custom wheels, if anyone recognizes these are old school wheels that I redid to fit. They're about 13 inches wide. You have to cut up the front to clear the 1300 horsepower intercooler, so I got that DEH front. Still looks very LX-ish and not GT. It's a little smoother, so got that. And Wilwood 6 pistons in the front, 4 pistons in the rear. Exhaust is all stainless. I think I said it has a 6R80 at stock. It has a illuminator, which is the all forged version of the Coyote. It's the low compression version. I'll put that in a full video. And so yeah, I have the spring at 7 psi. I can go all the way up to 23 psi. The difference between the two is about 300 wheel horsepower. So I have 6 settings, all different. So for example, the first setting is right at the spring in every gear. The next setting is 6 psi in first and second. Then it jumps up to 10 and third, and 15 and fourth. And eventually, you know, it goes up to full on in every gear in mode 6 if you know, or to drag trip it. Now this one just finished up a really cool change on it. So this is, as far as I'm aware, the first ever mini tubbed Foxbody with a Cobra IRS. So anyone who's done a Cobra IRS knows you can fit about 255s in there. I have an old video when I originally put it in. I did a hardtail mod so I could fit 275s. But after mini tubbing this car, I really liked the really wide tire on there, and I thought, well, is it possible to do it with an IRS? And looked on the web, and no one had done it. People had thought about it, but everyone pretty much said no. So it's done. How is it done? Well, that's for another video, but looks pretty cool. So these are 315s, which is it could go wider. I think I have about another inch on the inside. So for folks who haven't tried to put an IRS in these cars or don't know anything about it, you're probably like, well, what's the big deal? But for those who know, they know that something had to happen to make that happen. Another interesting thing is the seats. Very nice Recaros, supple leather, and they are from a Mercedes AMG. So those are the AMG performance seats, all power. Also rear seat delete on this with one 12 W3 all JL amps, and I'm also going to redo these door panels. I have in full leather with some focal speakers. Both have double DIN touch screens. You can stream everything from the computer onto the double DIN if you wanted to monitor. This one doesn't have a digital dash. It has all auto meter. Also has a Momo steering wheel. Oh yeah, something on the silver car that's probably unique is I also made an electric power steering unit for it. No, I didn't buy one. I made one from a Prius and a stock column. So this is the only Coyote swap I have that doesn't have power brakes and hydraulic steering. I went with the Willwood manual 6-piston setup and electric power steering, which is variable, so I can make it to where you can turn it with a finger, or you can, it feels almost like a manual rack. So this one has, of course, the Cobra rear brakes, and it has the Ford Racing Brembo front brakes. This also has the old school rims, but not a deep dish because of the IRS. Whereas that one, you know, I chopped the axles so I could really move them in. But I think it looks pretty good the way it is. This one has a Gen 1 Coyote that I put all forged components in it. A 2018 intake. The silver car has a sheet metal intake. So this has, you know, the forged rods, forged pistons, the forged oil pump, has the Cobra Jet exciter ring, so you can spin it up to, I think, 8,400 RPM or so more accurately. And this one has a triple fuel pump billet system. Another interesting thing is when you mini tub, you normally have to put in a fuel cell, but you may notice this has a stock fuel tank and a stock style exhaust that clears no problem. There are a lot of things done to these cars. This one has a Magnum 6-speed, and so yeah, I mean, try to do things that are unique and different. This one I was going to build the engine and put the triple fuel pump in it, so I was probably going to put a hidden turbo in it with some other things that I've never seen done before. But that will happen when I do the full rotisserie on this one. So that's a quick synopsis of these two. Of course, if you watch my other videos, the red hatch, I've done a lot to that since I built it. All these cars have between 500 and 2,000 miles on them over a 10-year period. So they don't get driven much because I have a lot of them. I like to work and design things more than I like to drive them, but just take them out and run them every so often. And they're all different, they're all fun. Of course, the white convertible with the Coyote swap. And then, yeah, I've done a lot to that since my last video on that one too. So eventually I'll catch up on videos, and if there's anything that folks want to see as to how it was done, eventually I'm going to post 1 million pictures for how these things were done.